Your dreams, they matter. And in order to achieve them, you're going to have to be able to have the courage, to be brave enough to actually state what your dreams are.
You got your foot in the gas and the brake at the same time. You want to help people, but you're worried about their judgment, so you don't do anything.
Great entrepreneurs are constantly conscious of selling the dream to their employees, to their clients, to their vendors.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You are a genius. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Mel Robbins. Also, if you want to learn to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
If you didn't give a shit what anybody else thought, what's the thing you would love to be doing with your life?
You might want to get honest with yourself. Like, instead of doing this, I want to be a millionaire, I want to do this. Do you really? Because you can make it happen. You actually can. Look at all the idiots that are making money. You can make money.
In order to get to the next level in your business, you got to decide right now, what habits do you have as a leader that you have to change now? You know what my dream was? My dream someday was to be a talk show host. And I was always embarrassed to admit it because it seemed so implausible. I mean, it seemed, how on earth does one even do that? And see, that's the thing about dreams, is that your dreams, they matter. And in order to achieve them, you're going to have to be able to have the courage, to be brave enough to actually state what your dreams are. Because if you can't own them, you don't deserve them.
When did you decide that your dreams shouldn't be big? When did you decide that you shouldn't tell anyone else about your dreams? Until you own your dreams and stop making yourself feel small, those dreams will never happen. Never. Now, this is something everybody struggles with. Everybody. Myself, Mel, everybody. We're worried about playing a bigger game. We're worried about thinking bigger for ourselves, and we're worried about telling other people because what if it doesn't work out? What if we don't make it? What's that judgment gonna come? How are they gonna think about us? And so I think about my own story, what I'm trying to create. The biggest fight that I used to get into with my agent, Steve, was he says, Evan, you need to be a household name. You need to be famous. Like, Steve, I don't want to be famous. I equated famous to ego. If you're famous and you're this big egomaniac, I don't want to be an egomaniac. It's not about me. It's about spreading belief. I'm nervous getting in front of the camera. Even before filming this video, I'm nervous. Like, I wanted to do well. The lights come on. I don't crave it. I don't crave attention. I'm an introvert. I like just doing my thing. Evan, you need to get famous. Why, Steve? Why do we need to get famous? And for maybe 2 years, we fought over this. Because I kept equating fame with ego, and I looked at the people who were famous, and like, I don't want to be like them. And there's a lot that they did that bothered me, and I wanted to do it a different way. And that's the key. It's finding the different way to do it. How does an introvert on a mission become famous? I don't know. We're gonna go on this journey together and hopefully find out. What finally clicked for me was him saying, when you get famous, your mission will spread. If you start tying actions to mission, that's how you get me to move. For other people, it might be, hey, I'll give you all this money if you do this, or you'll have the fame or credibility or have statues built. I don't need statues built of me. But as soon as you tie it to mission and service, that gets me going. So he said, if you actually want to fulfill your mission, if you say you want to spread belief, then you need to get famous. Because the more people know about you, the more people will hear your message. And it finally stuck. Like, okay, I got to do it. I don't know how to do it. I've never tried to do it. I've always wanted to be behind the spotlight. And so now this is part of my mission. I need to become a household name and get famous so that more people can believe in themselves. If I actually want to solve the world's biggest problem, then I need to be out there doing it. I need to believe in myself more. Right? If I'm trying to spread belief, I need to believe in myself more too. And so I think that's a human condition. That's part of what we want to do. You want to step outside your comfort zone. You want to serve. Humans are built to serve. We are built to serve. But service requires helping other people. And because we're afraid of judgment, you don't want to do it. So you've got your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. You want to help people, but you're worried about their judgment. So you don't do anything. You know you're capable of more. But you don't do it because you're afraid. And so I'm going to give you a 3-step process that really helped me, that's worked for me, that I hope can work for you too, because I want to see that genius that you've got inside you explode out into the world. Step number 1 is believing that you have Michael Jordan level talent. This is something that I say a lot, and it's something that I believe in myself as well. I need to remind myself of it, that I have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You are worthy. You are talented. You're a genius. You're amazing. Remember that. And just because you don't see it in where you're at right now doesn't mean that you can't become great. There's a famous quote that I'm probably going to botch by Albert Einstein, who's basically saying that if you try to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you'd think it's an idiot. And that's what most people are doing. They're fish trying to be forced to climb a tree where you should swim. You can swim, right? You know inside you that you have amazing talent. And it's just believing in that a little bit more, that you can be Michael Jordan at something. Step number 2 is I remind myself of the Quincy Jones rule. And the Quincy Jones rule is one of my favorite clips of all time on my channel, is where he said,
"Not one drop of my self-worth depends on your acceptance of me."
And whenever I'm worried, whenever I'm thinking about how people see this or judge me, I remind myself of that, the Quincy Jones rule. Not 1 ounce of my self-worth, not 1 drop, comes from your acceptance of me. And just having that as a reminder when you're afraid, when you're about to make a video, when you're about to write your book, when you're about to get on stage, or you're about to tell somebody about your idea, when you're at a networking event and somebody asks you what you do and you feel small and you want to play small, just use it in that moment. Remind yourself of the Quincy Jones rule. I'm going to speak my truth, and not 1 ounce of my self-worth comes from your acceptance of me. And then step number 3 is the boom, boom, boom test. And that's where when your heart's going boom, 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 right? Your heart's going boom, boom, boom. You're scared, you're nervous, you're afraid. You have to do it. It's a sign that you're actually on the right path. 98% of the time, right? That 2% is when you're about to jump out of an airplane and you don't have a parachute. Okay, great. Don't do that. That's crazy, right? Don't be stupid. But most of the things you're afraid of is not actually physical harm. We don't live in a society where you're constantly in danger, right? If it's physical harm and danger, okay, maybe you want to take the safer route. But most of the things we're afraid of are judgment, are people's opinions, our expectations. That's what you're really afraid of. And so when you're about to do something and your heart's going like this, or when you're thinking of something, or somebody suggests something to you, hey, what do you think about this? And your heart's going like this, that's a sign to go. That's not a sign to think. That's not a sign to think. When your heart is going boom, 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 the boom, boom, boom test is not a time to think, because you're gonna think your way down from the big idea. Your brain is designed to protect you. It understands the world that currently exists, so it's gonna use logic as to why you should take the safer path. You have to step into it, even if you fail, even if it doesn't work out, because you wanna teach yourself that you do difficult things. And so the next time your heart's going boom, 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 when an idea comes from your own head or from somebody pitching you something, if your heart's going boom, 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 you do it. It's a sign to go. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I wanna know, what is your dream? What are you afraid to tell people? And then spit it out loud, share in the comments below. And if you like this video and you're gonna take some action today after watching it, give me a hashtag believe in the comments as well.
So the one thing I will say is I was grandly ambitious. I always said, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Always, since the time I was a little kid, but I didn't have the drive to see it through. So I really was an empty dreamer when I was a kid. And it was learning to hate that in myself, if I'm completely honest.
Yes.
And to not allow myself to be an empty dreamer, to force myself to get the skills to actually execute against it, to not be in any way, shape, or form pacified by saying I'm gonna do something, which is actually super dangerous. Most people just thinking about the fantasy of what they're gonna do gives them some partial sense of, oh, I've done it. Whereas I stopped letting that be okay for me, which largely came down to embarrassment I felt around my wife working when I had no job. And that was the time, she was my fiance at the time,
Yeah.
but that was when I really started to go, okay, you've made a lot of promises to this woman and you're not on a path to keep any of them.
Great leaders always sell the dream. Leaders must have vision because of your position. Just by being a position of a leader, you are in front of everybody, aren't you? Which means your point of view should be different. You can see things they can't see. Your job as a leader is to say, here's what I see. This is how amazing it is, and this is how we're going to get there. So great leaders, like that book said, sell the dream constantly. Great entrepreneurs are constantly conscious of selling the dream to their employees, to their clients, to their vendors, to potential clients, to people they sell, to people they do business with, to people in the warehouse. No matter what your business is, I don't care what it is, always be selling the dream. Listen to me. Always be selling the dream and do it repetitiously. Don't get tired of saying the same things over and over again. See, business is not about saying new things to old people. Business is about saying old things to new people. So constantly be selling the dream.
If you want to know Mel Robbins' mindset trick that destroys excuses, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Do it anyway is a mindset trick that you can use when you start to feel excuses rolling up.